Joining us here at the Nikki Clarke Show, and sitting beside me is a powerful woman. She's a motivational speaker. She is a wife. She's a mother, and she's also the founder of A Simply New Me. Please welcome Sharon Stewart Smith to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, Moan, it's a pleasure. You look gorgeous.
Oh, I feel gorgeous with this background. We're all doing so wonderful, looking fabulous. Love it.
Awesome. Well, I'm really just moved by the candor that you have in sharing, your story. Everybody has a story, but sometimes it takes a little while for us to be courageous about, revealing the parts that, you might not want everyone to hear.
Right.
But I think there is strength in vulnerability, and I'm proud to be part of that camp of people who, want to release, so that can be a blessing to someone else. So maybe you can share with us a little bit about your background leading up to your movement.
My movement. Okay, so many years ago, I was brought up in a really small town. And in that small town, I came from a family of performers. So we sung and we danced and we did all that great stuff.
I can see that.
Oh, yes. We had a lot of fun, lots of fun. But what comes with being a performer is all of that mask where you have to smile. And if things don't, you got to smile. Things aren't going well, but I look great. Mm-hmm. And I ended up doing that to the point where I didn't even know who I was. So I had a mask for you, and I had a mask for somebody else, and I had a mask for this person. So when it came time to actually knowing my authentic self, I couldn't do it. And we lived in a very, unfortunately, a lot of women live in abusive households. And I had to watch my mom fake all the time who she was and be silent about what was happening, and I just found that it was too much, so I decided to move to Toronto. And
where was the hometown, by the way?
Guelph, Ontario.
Guelph.
Woo-hoo! No excitement here for Guelph? Come on, people. Yeah, so I decided that I had to create my own story. I had to get away from that in order to find out what my power was. Mm-hmm. So I moved to Toronto. And I ended up getting a job at Toronto Parks and Recreation.
Awesome.
Yeah, Parks and Rec. And I ended up in a room with 8 girls. 8, I don't know where all the boys, they must have been off for the summer, but I had 8 young girls, 11 and 12-year-olds. And they were the meanest people I have ever met towards each other and towards themselves. And then when I took the time to really sit and look at them, I was like, they're little mini-me's. Wow. In the sense that they were wearing these masks. They had to pretend to be this person for that group of people and pretend to be this for this and be for their sisters. They didn't know who they were. Mm-hmm. So I used my musical talents and my dramatic talents to create really fun and interactive activities for them. And I kind of put them in the day. And then all of a sudden, they were acting out how they felt. They were learning that, hey, do you know what? Somebody else feels like that too. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we were friends and we had an identity together. And then they became powerful together and individually. And that was my first week. And then by the third week, I had 25. Wow. And then after 25, parents were like, well, my daughter, the younger one, really wants to get involved. Can you do something for her? I'm here, why not? So then I started running 2. And the program kept getting larger and larger. And I did that for 8 or 9 years. And then my girls started getting too big for the program. So I created another one for younger girls, and it just kept going, and I was just unmasking everyone and just allowing them to stand in their true selves. Mm-hmm. And I said, I can't keep doing it in this one place. What is it that I need to do? Mm-hmm. So what do I love to do? I love to teach. I love to do workshops and activities and work with girls. So I became a teacher. And through that form, I have been able to touch so many young women's lives. And I do neighboring schools, I do high schools. I just cannot get away from wanting to empower these young girls because I didn't have that opportunity to speak, to stand in my truth and be my own authentic self. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, born from your own need.
Yeah, definitely.
This is something that was a fuel for you to energize other women or other young women.
Yes.
And Sharon, that's a really important point that you brought up because I started something to help mean girls, the existence of mean girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was called into a school in a similar situation, and it was hard to get through to them.
It is.
They built up some incredible walls
Yes.
to protect themselves from whatever they were dealing with in their environment.
Yeah.
But the walls were really thick.
Right.
So I really have to, tip my hat to you to reach out to some of those girls.
And it just comes down to giving them an opportunity to be heard. They want to know that someone cares for them, and that, guess what? I might be a little older, but I can still connect with you because I
Right.
remember what it was to be a child
Right.
like you. And this was my story, and this is what I did, and all of a sudden it's, oh, okay, well, you're not so bad.
Yeah.
And then you just end up finding that connection. So it's a beautiful thing. So thank you.
That's we'll make some noise for Sharon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about your children. How many children do you have?
I have two.
You have two.
Yes.
And how old are they?
Not so much children. They're 22 and 17.
17.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I still call my babies
I
who are
do
in
too.
their
I
20s
do.
babies, and
Yeah.
like, okay, stop embarrassing me.
I don't want to tell them they're babies. I get
Constant
it.
source of
Forever our
embarrassment.
babies, right?
Yeah. How do they feel about all the great things that you've done in the community?
It's ironic you said it. My daughter just sent me a text
She
telling
did?
me, yeah,
Aw.
literally telling me how proud she was
Aw.
of the work that I do and the things that I do. I have just to, they love what I do. My son, he thinks it's like, oh yeah, my mom's helping another girl again. Let's not bring my friends to the house. But they come and we talk and we share. And he's not going to get it because he's a boy, but he's very proud and admires the fact that I want to help make a better place and a better world for these girls to feel safe and to be able to stand in their truth again and shine as bright as they can be. So they love it.
Have you thought of a boys group?
I do actually. I do a boys group called
Okay.
Boys to Men, and
Awesome.
one called Onyx, but I can only teach a man from a woman's perspective, and I allow to do that, so it's fun. But I love my girls because it's coming from what I know for a fact. So yes,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what is the ultimate goal then for the organization?
for me and Simply a New Me, it is to empower and inspire and as many young women as I can possibly get to be able to work with other organizations so we can get even more women, to go global, to try to take over the world. I know it sounds cliche, but I really do feel that I can do it. I can go out there and I can inspire and I can and get those girls to really love who they are as people and know that they are enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. Do you see a shift happening in society where women are being acknowledged, girls are, there's more attention being brought to women's needs, girls' needs in terms of their empowerment?
I do, definitely. I mean, you have phenomenal women like Michelle Obama. You have Oprah. You have, so many. I could go on forever about names, but they're women who are empowered, and we're seeing them empowered. And these girls are like, you know what? They can do it, so I can do it now. And that whole social media and the reality TV isn't so real anymore because they're seeing live people like themselves doing greatness, and people like myself shining light and letting them know that there's so many amazing things that can be done. So yes, definitely there is a shift, and I'm so happy for it.
Yeah, it's time.
It's definitely time.
It's definitely time for leadership too,
Yeah.
female really leadership,
Yes,
but
I
a different type of energy
Mhm.
to take over in government and different areas.
Yes.
Because I think what's going on isn't working very well.
It isn't.
And I think women have a different perspective.
And I agree, and I know a lot of men might think we're too emotional and we're too, but sometimes it's that emotion that allows us to see beyond
sensitivity.
what men cannot see. No offense, I'm just saying, but what they can't see because they're so in it and they're programmed differently, whereas we're able to sit back and observe and take pieces that they can't. So yes, women need to be in there and have that leadership and power, of course.
Fantastic. So what's next for you?
Well, I have a book coming out in early winter, all about that fun relationship we have with mothers. We all have great mothers, and we've been daughters. So I've got that book coming out. I have a huge conference in 2018, and every month I do workshops and mini conferences. So that's going to be on my high school tour. So I have a lot coming on and going on, and I'm really excited.
Excellent. And where
Yeah.
can people reach you?
You can reach me on my webpage at Simply a New Me. You can reach me Instagram, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Instagram at Simply a New Me, and you can visit me on Facebook at Sharon Ann Marie. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Oh,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much for your dedication to the community, and we're just going to keep watching you shine and help others shine. So
And thank you
very
for
much.
giving me this opportunity to let everybody know what we do
Yeah.
and what needs to be done.
It
Thank you
has to
so
happen.
much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
Sharon,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. We've got a fantastic show for you today, and part of what we do is we are engaged in conversations that matter, and we invite people from all walks of life to come and share their heart stories. And we've got another great story for you to hear. This lovely woman is a life coach and soon to release a part of a chapter in a book that we're doing together. Please welcome Donna Hall to the show.
Thank you, Nikki. Pleased to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'm just amazed at how everybody looks so fabulous and just
Thank
working
you.
in so well with the Prince background. It's
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Purple.
Yeah.
Purple's my favorite color, so this is just beautiful.
It's a color
Thank you.
of royalty. I
It
love it.
is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
So tell me about the life coach journey. How did you stumble into that?
You know, it really has been a journey, so that's such a good question. I would have to say it started when I was a really young girl. I would hang out at my grandmother's farm in Jamaica, and I would people watch quite a bit. And what I started to realize was that I was really interested in people showing up. They're showing who they were, like really being in this place of growth and, you know, being happy. And so I remember one instance where there were people who would line up at the end of the day and they'd picked pimento all day. And I would always sit and just watch them. Not necessarily talk to them, but I would watch them. And I'll never forget this one man. He was disabled, and I always noticed that. And he was elderly. And I noticed that day he was like just not feeling, you could tell he was scared about something. What would happen is they would weigh their bags and they'd be paid based on, was the bag level, you know? And so I went over and I looked at his bag and I thought, his bag's not full. And so unbeknownst to my grandmother, because I'm sure she would have killed me on the spot, I went and got pimento that had already been weighed, and I filled up his bag. No one said anything. He went in, he got it weighed, got his day's pay, and that was like, I remember looking at him walking away, limping away actually, and thinking, that guy's different, and there's no way he could have done what everyone else did. And I'm really happy because he was able to shine. Like, he walked away looking like, I just did a good day's job, which he had done.
Which he had
Right.
done, and you were able to, on the down low, keep his integrity intact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, on my journey, you know, I ended up working in human resources. And again, my focus, people would always say to me, you're not a real human resources person, right?
What does that mean?
Like, what does that mean? And I was always in service of people growing, like really shining, stepping into their divine power. And so, and by divine power, I don't mean brute force or, you know, really being rah-rah. That could be part of it. What I really mean is people who show their natural gifts, show their strengths, show their superpowers, things that you come with. Because I believe when you're young, you come with everything that you need. Just life gets in the way, and then you forget who you are. Mm-hmm. And so I've spent many years just really in service of people, and having that job in human resources led me into coaching, and the rest is history.
Okay.
You know. So in that coaching program, I basically bumped into myself, into that little girl who was really interested in people shining and thought, okay, I got to make something out of this.
Okay, so you recognize a talent within you to support others.
Yeah.
Now, how old were you in that?
I would have been 7. I was young.
Wow.
But I would spend every single summer in Jamaica, and it just became a natural thing of just watching people and watching, you know, like, what do they need? What do my grandmothers need? They were very powerful women, and they were also healers, and I'd think, they're running the show here, but what do they really need? So it was, I always wanted to support people to feel happy.
Okay. Well, even
It's really
coaches need
important.
coaches.
I firmly believe in that.
Yeah.
I have a coach.
You have a coach.
You always need one.
Awesome.
We don't know it all, you know.
No, we don't. Yeah. We can't be, pillars and stoic all the
No,
time.
we need it's good to be able to acknowledge that and to ask for help.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was really, really geeked. I'll say geeked because I'm starstruck when I meet someone I really, really admire. And I had the opportunity to meet John Maxwell, who is a leadership guru. And
nice.
and I went up to him and I was shaking, and believe it or not, like I get
can't
nervous.
see that, Nikki. Like I can't see you being nervous.
I get
right?
really nervous when I publicly speak. I get nervous, and then I'm fine when the lights are on and
Right.
and the mic turns on. But when I was like shaking, and I said, "Would you mind just signing my book?" I had one of his books in my hands, and he looked at me, and he goes, "So what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I do this and I do that." And he goes, "Well, I think you got it. I think you got it going." And he says, "You're a smart cookie." And he took his hands and he kind of tweaked my cheeks.
Nice.
And I thought, this is so cool. And we took a picture of that. But, it's like you said, everyone needs somebody. You can't do it alone.
We're not meant to be doing that alone.
Yeah.
We're meant to actually get someone, and I believe you always get that next person you need to really guide you. I firmly believe that. And even if you feel, I'm fully healed and I've had coaches, there's always that next part of you that needs to evolve. And there's going to be someone who shows up unexpectedly you've just got to notice it though and be ready and be clear that, I'm open to working with this person.
Excellent. So who has come to you? Who typically are your clients?
That's such a great question. I have predominantly female clients, some male, but predominantly females who are high-powered women they accomplish a lot, so it's like they never sleep, right? And a lot of them are in service of other people, and they're women who are in their power, but they don't see themselves. They don't see their beauty. So other people may see them and go, wow, that woman is really accomplished. She's really compassionate. And they're usually multidimensional women, but they don't see their own beauty. And so I typically help them to step into their divine power so they understand the impact they're having. Okay. And I also help them to take care of themselves, because typically these women, they put themselves last. And so part of my job is, it's funny, the people you coach mirror who you've been or who you are. And so, I was that woman who put everyone ahead of me, didn't take good care of myself until I hit a wall. And so I help them before they hit that wall.
Excellent. Self-care is very important.
Self-care is huge. It's really
especially
huge.
In fields where you nurture others, so you have to take care of yourself.
You got to really put you first, which is the name of my company. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
I like that too.
Yeah. Do men come as well?
I do have some men who don't think, coaching, I don't need, they don't see it as a negative. So I have men who want to tap into who they really are. They realize they've forgotten, life's gotten in the way. Yeah. And so they want to go back to being, not necessarily the macho guy or how men are described, but really tapping into who they really are. And a lot of them want to be good husbands. They want to be good fathers.
They do.
It's typically the kind of client I attract.
Yeah. Well, girls and boys from a very early age, their environment tells them what to do. There's the blueprint that's given to them. Boys don't cry, girls wear pink.
Yeah. Girls play with dolls. I have a daughter who she has a car collection. I'm like, more power to you.
I love that.
I'm happy that you like cars.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And now, you're involved in some other projects,
yes.
and I'm going to give a shameless plug for the book that we're involved in.
Let's do that, yes.
That's coming out late August, and the book is called Transforming Lives One Story at a Time. Yeah. And I invited people to come and share a little bit. As a co-author, you're going to be part of that contribution. Right. So you have a chapter that you're going to add to the book about a pivotal time of transformation in your life.
Absolutely, yes. And I love that you're doing that. It came at the right time. I saw that note and thought, I'm in. I don't know what I'm writing about, but I want to be in that. And so for me, the transformation has been coming from, like, I remember I said that little girl who was really clear and knew what she wanted to do and was in service of people. And then, you know, going through a life of being abused mentally, physically, being around alcohol, and just the, you know, the impact that that can have on children, on a family. And coming out of that and realizing, you know what, I'm more than that. Those were just experiences that actually helped me in my life. So I don't think anything is happenstance. I think everything we experience is, they say the more pain, more gain. The way I look at it is the more pain, the more opportunity you have to support other people.
I think that's
Right?
beautiful. Yeah, make some noise for that. I totally agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, the pain leads to purpose.
Absolutely.
You know,
if you
so-
just see it that way, if you're
Yes.
willing to just move beyond that pain, there's a whole other life out there.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think it's an important part, too, in your journey to acknowledge that the pain that has been transferred has nothing to do with you. And you don't have to own
It's
it.
just an experience.
It's just an
right?
experience, yeah.
And so there's an energy, I'm also a certified energy healer, and so the way that I have dealt with that pain is to really energetically figure out, like, where did I store that in my body? Because your body remembers everything that happens to you. And so the energy work helps you to get really clear on, you know, what chakra is blocked, what was that about? Because when something happens, we develop a story,
Yes.
right? That we then becomes the way we live our lives,
Yeah.
right? And so that's been a phenomenal experience to just get rid of all that stuff and still go back to being that little girl who is connected and fully passionate about helping other people to grow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We love that little girl. So how can people find you, Donna?
So my company's called Me First Now. My website is mefirstnow.com, and you can email me at mefirsthealing@gmail.com.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much,
Thank
Donna
you
Hall.
very
Really
much.
appreciate you. Donna Hall, everybody. All right, we'll be back.